Hello and welcome to episode 6 of the Universally Epic Podcast, your go to Universal Orlando trip planning podcast. I'm your host, Jim Klein, and in today's show, we have a holiday trip report. We just discussed the recently opened new DreamWorks land, and we'll discuss two of the three new hotels coming to Universal Orlando Resort in early 2025, just before Epic Universe opens on May 22nd, 2025. And to help me out, I have a friend and the senior vacation consultant with the Magic for Less Travel and the star of episode 1 of the podcast, Holly Carter. Holly, how are you?
I'm great. How are you today?
Everybody's a star, so when you come back, you're always gonna be a star here. That's it.
That's too much.
Uh, so so we're gonna get into our first topic. We're gonna get into is you recently went over to Universal for Thanksgiving and experienced the Grinchmas breakfast. So give me a little background. How'd that come about? And just give me a little overview of it.
All right, yeah. So 2 years ago, I took my two youngest kids. My husband couldn't go; he had to work that day. We had the absolute best time. It was so much fun. And then last year, Circus McGurkus was closed down for refurbishment, so they moved it over to a different restaurant. And we didn't go last year, not because of that, but just because we just didn't go last year. And but it came back. Circus McGurkus reopened last summer. It's got a lot more room in it now. They kind of took out like where you would like do like the cafeteria line thing. That's all gone. It's a lot more seating. Still, when you first walk in, it still looks the same, but it's a lot more room. So my husband had the week off, and I said, "Hey, why don't we do this year? We'll go spend the day there. We'll have dinner the next day or whatnot." But take the day and check it out again. Now, I want to preface this by saying at the very beginning of the Grinch Miss Breakfast this year, if you've seen any of the reviews or if you were, on socials at all, yeah, they were kind of getting lit up because it was people were not happy with it. But I will say that Universal listened and they turned it around like within a day or so. They really want to make things right, and I truly appreciate that with them. So our experience on Thanksgiving Day was fantastic from beginning to end, and I'm so happy about it because we had such a good time 2 years ago, and I wanted to kind of replicate that. Wasn't exactly the same, but it was just as good, if not better.
So what kind of characters are there? Obviously, the Grinch is there, but I know there's some other Whoville type characters, but who did you get to see?
Yeah, so the Grinch has a stand like a meet and greet now.
Okay.
And what you do is when you come in and you are seated at your table, depending on the line. Now, our server said, "Hey, I can see there's only a couple families over there. Do you want to go do that now, or you can wait until after your meal? You have your choice." And we're like, "Yeah, sure." So we waited maybe 3 minutes. We had a great. It wasn't a rushed interaction or anything. My daughter is feisty. She She's the one that when you go to, like, Rise of the Resistance, she's gonna fight with the with the stormtroopers and stuff. So she was ready for it. So we got some good video of that. It was a lot of fun. The Grinch was fantastic, and, then we went back to our table, and then you place your order and you have your breakfast and stuff. So while you're doing your things and just kinda hanging out, there are a bunch of different, um Whovillians? I don't know, what do you call them? Member people that
Who
live in
people?
Who but they just kinda wander around table to table and talk about things. You can ask them they're wonderful. I guess use that overuse that word, it's terrible. They are totally in character. They will, one who came up and she was having a problem with her Christmas tree because she had a bald spot and she didn't know if she should put some, fluffer fluff in it or, she wanted to know if we had any suggestions. And it was really wonderful. The mayor of Whoville was there. And they just kind of go around and interact with you just like they know you almost. And then there's also a kind of standalone meet and greet the day we were there with Sam I Am. I don't know if that changes or not, but that was kinda nice. We kinda caught that on the way out. So
Oh, nice.
there wasn't too much, but there was enough to keep people interested.
Okay, that's good. So you went on Thanksgiving Day,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
So did you have a problem getting the reservation? How far in advance did you have to make that reservation?
Well, we made that reservation the day the reservations opened because I'd been
Okay.
watching for them anyway. They do tend to fill up very quickly because they I think they start about is it 8 a.m. or 8:30? I forget, but it's pretty early and it runs about a 3-hour window. So there's only so many reservations and it's a really good character interaction experience and Universal doesn't really have that many right now. It's which is
Yeah, we
unfortunate
were
because
talking
if they
about
could do them on this level, it's just it's on par with the best character interactions we've had anywhere else.
yeah, we were talking about that on a previous episode, like, in terms of character breakfast ta character meals in general. They had, like, the Marvel superhero type dinner over there at Islands of Adventure.
Yeah.
But not really much going on. I think we had suggested, like, a Minions breakfast over at Minions Land at Minions Cafe on a previous episode, and
Right.
I think that would be a great idea. But yeah, like, they really could benefit from doing some of these character meals in the parks and even in the resorts would be even nice too. I know it might be a little different because of the resorts are mostly Lowe's owned
Yep.
and operated,
Mhm.
so I don't know how that would work, but it would be nice to have that opportunity when you go to Universal.
I believe that they used to have, at least 1, maybe 2 character breakfasts, which would be more, for Disney fans, would be the more traditional where the characters just kinda wander around type things,
Mhm.
but that was pre-pandemic, and they didn't come back.
Yeah. So what about the food? What like how was that? What'd you eat? What'd your family eat?
So, um, I had these wonderful waffles with, like, a strawberry compote and some whipped cream, they were lovely. The scrambled eggs were not. No, I call it as I see it. I think they were like that PWE, like, pour it out of a carton thing. So, we didn't eat that.
Yeah.
There was bacon. Bacon was well cooked. It was thick. It was very good. Both of my kids had, the green pancakes, and they liked them. They were good. Now my husband ordered, um, chicken and waffles, and it had, like, a hot honey on them, and I need to post this picture on social media. It had the most perfect you would appreciate this, Jim, I know you would appreciate this especially. It had the most perfect sunny side up egg I have ever seen in my life. Every
So
bit of the albumin was cooked. There wasn't any slime or anything, but the yolk was pristine. It was gorgeous, and he said it was excellent. The food everyone was happy with their food aside from those scrambled eggs. You choose from a
yeah.
menu now, and, it has several options, but not, like, overwhelmingly too many. It used to be a buffet, not so much anymore, but it was very nice. You can ask for other things. My daughter, she's wanted extra strawberries to go with her pancakes, and sure, and they brought her out a bowl of,
Oh,
strawberries
nice.
and stuff, so
Oh, that's nice.
mhm.
Nice. So so in terms of like cost to value, like what would you rate that in
I thought it
terms
was
of
on par with any other character meal. If you've done any character meals anywhere, I think it was, 59 for adults and 33 for ages 3 to 11. My kids are all over or 3 to 9. I don't know why I said 11. 3 to 9, my kids are 12 and 13, my youngest, so, they're all adults. But I would absolutely do it again. It was worth it for just the overall experience. The Grinch, for your listeners, if they don't know, is really hard to meet. Now he does do meet and greets there, but if you look at the wait times, that will stay several hours all the time. So you either need to get in there first thing and get right in line for them. You need to do the character breakfast, or you can do the holiday tour, that
yeah.
special event at night, and then you can also meet the Grinch and Max that way. But yeah, if you want to meet the Grinch, there's only a few good ways. So time or money, I guess, which way you
Now,
wanna do it, but
do you know if the Grinch is part of the early entry that resort guests get?
he was not meeting when we went in, and we did do early entry because we're pass holders, and, no, yeah, he had not set up yet, so
Yeah,
now,
that would
I don't know if
obviously that
it
would
that
benefit.
that was our experience, it could change, but
Yeah. 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 Yeah, we discussed the holiday tour a little bit more in depth on, our holiday episode. I think it was episode 4,
mhm,
and, yeah, we both came to the agreement that it's definitely worth it with all
absolutely,
the stuff that you get for it, and, yeah, that Grinch line is very long. Definitely
yeah,
seems like it's worth it because the Grinch, he really plays off of, like, each person differently, obviously,
mhm.
and he know he it's very, very quick and witty, so it's kinda nice to it's definitely worth the wait if you wanted to wait in that line.
Yeah.
But if you don't want to wait in the line, go to the breakfast. You get to eat. It seems like the food is really good,
It was
and
there was a lot of people in there, but did not feel overwhelmingly busy or full or whatever. It was very well done. I would highly rate it. And as far as the Grinch goes, he's not just, a costumed actor, he's like a professional improv actor, which I think makes it just puts it over the top. It's wonderful.
definitely does. It
Yeah.
definitely does. That space is huge, so I can see how it doesn't feel as crowded
Yeah.
because all the high ceilings, and it's definitely nice. So, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Like, we were talking about it on a previous episode about the breakfast, and I'm glad to have you on just to go over it a little bit, and definitely seems like it's definitely worth the price and what you get for it. So nice. So let's move on to our next topic. We're going to talk about a topic for children. It's the new DreamWorks Land, which opened over the summer. Um, it took the place of where like Woody Woodpecker's roller coaster, um, an American Tail water and playground used to be. Um, so what's your experience? I have not been down there since it opened. So how do you feel about the land? Is it a nice little update, you think?
I do. I think the old Kid Zone was fine, but it was not really relevant anymore. I mean, a lot of, kids don't even my kids don't know who Fievel is, and I'm like, "Oh, this is wrong. I'm failing as a parent because I need to make them know who Fievel is." But they don't know who Fievel is. They did like the Woody Woodpecker roller coaster, which is still there, but it's rethemed, so they're okay with that. I was lucky enough to be able to represent the Magic for Less Travel at the summer preview in June, right before DreamWorks Land opened. So I got to kind of see it ahead of time and ask questions and do all that. So I like it. I think it's a really good addition. I think one of my biggest takeaways, which may not be, it's not about the attractions or about, was the fact that when you walk in there, it's not like, overwhelming. Like, the music that there's music, of course, but it's not blaring, and it's not, like, in your face, and there's a lot of seating, so I feel like it's a really good place not only for kids to go and just be able to kinda run because there is, do you remember the Curious George area, how it was like a climbing and all that? There's a sorta similar area in Shrek Swamp, and it has some slides, the famous poop chute, which makes noises as you go down it. And the rope bridges and different climbing things. So places where kids can just let loose and run and kind of get that energy out. And then there's some water play areas, actually a couple separate water play areas and different things. And there's some shows. There's some interactive shows, two interactive shows actually. Um, the Troller Coaster, of course. And there's some meet and greets and food um, and stuff like that. So I think there's a lot for little kids, younger kids. I don't want to say little kids because even older young kids, I think, and parents can relax back there without um, kind of having to be on their heels. Really, there's places to sit. There's shade. I think there'll be more shade as it fills in. And I think overall it was a really good addition. It's much nicer than what it was when it was Kid Zone.
Yeah, it seems as though like I love the water features. It might be smart to bring either like water shoes or something like that there, because it seems like there's a lot of opportunities to like cool down in the summer.
Yeah,
Um, it is a nice that's a nice balance between like not having like the extremely loud like super kinetic energy there, like
right.
going in and kind of be able to like take a break and let your kids like blow off some steam too.
Yep.
Maybe they'll fall asleep in the stroller so you could just like relax and
Yeah,
go shopping
yeah,
afterwards, right? Um, and one thing I wanted to bring up was the Shrek meet and greet with Donkey and Shrek. Now they had moved. I remember when they shut down the Donkey meet and greet over in the other portion of the park, and kind of people were like, "Oh, what the heck is going on?" But it's nice to see them bring that back into this land, and it kind of feels like it fits a little better as well.
yeah, it's nice. They moved, like, they've got the Shrek's, like, cabin type shack, I don't know, what do you call it, whatever, there, but they have the whole donkey's just as cheeky as he was before,
There you
and,
go. Nice.
it's nice, and it's over kind of in the shade too. It's a nice little land to meander around. It's got the details. If you look down on the ground, you'll see, like the baby ogre's footprints and stuff running through, and it's they did a good job.
And then were you able to check out the Kung Fu Panda interactive
Yeah.
show? How was that?
It's like Turtle Talk with Crush, if you've ever seen
Okay.
that. So,
Yep.
yep, so they interact live with the kids, which the kids love. So my daughter is 12 and she's too cool for it, right? So, but my son had not seen it. So we're like, well, come on, I just want to show you this so you see what it's there. And he, because he likes the behind the scenes and how do they do that and stuff. Well, we're sitting there, and as we're waiting for the show to start, she would get up and move a little closer and then a little closer. And next thing you know, she's up with all the other kids. And I have video proof that she is not too old for it because she got up and did, taekwondo with the rest of the kids when Poe
Oh, very cool.
came out.
That's
So
very
yeah,
cool.
it was very
Yeah,
cute.
that land looks pretty cool. Like the Kung Fu Panda area looks really nice. Again, water features, a lot of things going on, especially for kids to like kind of get their minds out of the whole like the heat and because it gets really hot and it's nice to be able to just take a load off.
They have those big dryers like they have over in the Jurassic Park section in the other park. They're like $7 or something. You stand in there and like it's like hurricane blowing, trying to. I don't know how well they work, but they're there.
Yeah, have you used one of those? I
A
can't see it
novelty.
working very well. Like, it's like going in front of, like, a Dyson hand blower in the bathroom, I feel, right? Like,
Yeah.
to pay $7 to get air blown on you is crazy, and, I don't know, maybe it works, or maybe it's just a novelty, and you just record yourself,
Mhm.
and then, at least you have the video for it.
What's nice about the area or the where DreamWorks Land is it's kind of more back around toward the front of the park, so we always be like, "Okay, if you manage to not fight and you behave, we'll let you go get soaked before we leave." And that works out.
It's like going on Dudley Do Right towards the end of the day or
Or Popeye. Oh,
Yeah, that's so funny. What about there's a show in there too, right? A DreamWorks character show?
yeah, that is a big, loud, musical fun fest. Get up and dance with them and,
Oh,
also yeah, but yeah, if you're going to relax, don't go there.
don't go
And the funny thing
there.
is where, like, you enter, you would have no idea if you didn't know what you were getting yourself into. But yeah, it's big and loud and it's great, but just know what you're walking into.
Yeah, that's good to know.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's kinda like teasing, right? So
Yeah,
you're in this nice, like, relaxing land, and you go in there, and it's like craziness.
yeah.
That's funny. Um, there's a few interactive things, like you mentioned, like
Mhm.
Puss in Boots has an interactive experience. There's the what is that? The Swamp Symphony, right? That's a kids play area over there by Shrek?
Sure, it's for kids.
Yeah, oh,
So, yeah, all the toads are up on the wall, and you step on the different lily pads, and they make different sounds, and you can
nice.
you can do the whole Budweiser. So, yeah, if you
Nice.
know which ones to step on. So,
That's great. That's great.
yeah.
Is there anything else that we might have missed in, DreamWorks Land?
I mean, not really. They have some specialty snacks over there. They have like the Shrexel, which is a large pretzel, and I thought, oh my goodness, it's like $12. It's I think about it when I'm not there. It's such a good pretzel. It comes with green cheese.
Okay.
Sounds so crazy, but it's good. I know it's so silly.
Just died, I'm
It's a
hoping, right? Like,
Yep,
they didn't at least leave it out for a while.
and you can get ice cream at this what looks like a giant boom box that the trolls operate. They only have 2 flavors. I've had them both, and they're actually really good. One is pink lemonade, and the other one is like, is I wanna say bumbleberry, but it's not. It's another bee. I don't know. It's some kind of berry, but they're both really
It
good. But the blue one will turn your whole mouth blue.
Not yet, of course. They just do that just for parents to just know where their kids are. They just light up in a crowd, with the blue mouth.
Phew.
Yeah, so, okay, the pretzel, I'm gonna have to try that when I go
Yeah,
because it's you know, w it's hard in Universal, the snack game, everybody thinks is, like, not really on par, but, like, there are, some decent snacks throughout the parks that, like, if you know, you know.
yep.
Um, mine is the crepe stand. Have you tried the crepe stand? I haven't been to
I beg them.
or
Everyone's actually seriously, if you ever follow me, every once in a while, you'll see me, like, usually on X. I'll be like, "Please bring back the poached pear creme brulee crepe." It was
oh,
the
that
best.
sounds good. What
Oh,
was in
it was lovely. It was the best one ever, but yeah, the crepe stand is definitely I'm kinda surprised they haven't put, like, another one, like, on the opposite side of the park or something because it's so good.
Oh, with them, I'd throw them up everywhere. I have a stand in City Walk before you even get into
Yeah,
the park.
definitely.
Like, it was so good. It
Yeah.
was so good, and I wish I didn't share it with my family, and it just like, it it was so I had, like, the Nutella and strawberry one, it was very, very good. What was in that poached pear one that you were
So,
talking about?
they were wine poached pears, and then it had like a the crème brûlée, like a custard in it, and
Oh.
it wasn't, like, too sweet, but it was just
I mean,
sweet enough. It was
it was
perfection.
yeah, that stand, and you know what? I don't it doesn't really pop up on the map either. If you're in the interactive map, it's not even there.
Yeah.
I don't understand, like, I was looking for it, like, before we went, I'm like, "I saw this, like, I kinda need to try it," and I couldn't find it, so I walked over there, and yeah, sure enough, they're, like, cranking out crepes, like, right in
Yeah.
front of you,
And I'm okay with
and
that because the less people that know about it, the shorter the line's gonna be when we go.
exactly. No, you're right,
So,
because
shh.
it does take a little bit of time because they're making every crepe fresh,
Yeah,
so it's oh, man, that's,
yeah,
now I kinda want one. So so, alright, so DreamWorks Land, great for the kids, great to take a break,
yep,
be warned, going into the show, you're gonna be jumping around a little bit and try the snacks. Alright,
yeah,
cool. Alright, so right now we'll take a break, and, when we get back, we'll talk about a couple new hotels coming to, Universal, right before Epic Universe opens, so, stay right there and we'll be right back. The Universally Epic podcast is brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel, a Universal You Preferred travel agency. If you are looking to plan your next Universal Orlando vacation, let's do it together. As a certified Universal specialist, I can help guide you through the planning process with helpful tips and tricks along the way. The best part, all my travel planning services are absolutely free to use. And when you book your Universal Orlando vacation with me, you qualify for an exclusive booking bonus offer from the Magic for Less Travel, a $25 Universal gift card for all vacation packages over $2,500. Ready to start planning? Email me at jim.klein@themagicforless.com to start planning your next epic Universal vacation. Welcome back, everybody. We're gonna get into Epic Universe talk right now. More so, two of the new hotels coming to the area to the Universal Orlando Resort. Let's try to get this right. It's the Stella Nova and the Terra Luna. Look at that, I got it
you
right.
got it.
It, yeah, it's very it's a it's very confusing a little bit to me. I always get those jumbled up in my head. But okay, so let's start with the first one that's opening. We could kind of talk about them at the same time because they're kind of sister resorts. So the Stella Nova Resort is opening January 21st, 2025. So almost in about a month, it'll be opening. This is going to be a like space galactic type themed with like some the main colors are more like grays and dark blacks and stuff like that. Um, and the other resort that's coming is the Terra Luna. That's opening in March 25th, 2025. So a couple months later, you have the Terra Luna. So really, as travel agents, right, our biggest question that everybody's gonna ask, right? We already know what's gonna happen. What's the difference, right? So, and to be honest, there's not much. So when you look at the concept art of both of them, the Terra Luna and the Stella Nova, the main differences you find in like the lobby areas and like the common spaces, right? So the Stella, see, I'm getting it messed up already. the Stella, this the Stella Nova is more your space themed. So think of like space grays and stuff like that. The walls have like kind of like galactic type theming to them. The Terra Nova has more of a tan and green type, right? Like not tan,
Terra
not,
Luna.
yeah, like tan, like dirt. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
like
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 terrestrial.
yes, terrestrial. That thank you. Like you're such a better way with words than I do. So terrestrial. So think of like your beiges, your tans, and greens kind of mixed together. Like those are the main, honestly, main differences. Obviously, you're gonna have two separate buildings. They're right next to each other. Um, Now, One thing I do want to say from the agent side of things is the rooms in these two resorts. The most you could fit in a room is 4 people, correct?
That's right, for the both of these, yep.
So they're just going to be double queen rooms. You have a choice of double queen with like a standard view, and you have a
Yep,
double queen with a pool view.
yep,
That's
that's
it.
it.
So if you have more than 4 people in your family, you're not going to be looking at these resorts unless you want to get 2 rooms, right? Like obviously, like
Yeah.
that could happen too. Um, my thing is why? Like why is it just because it's just easier to build and quicker to build that way? What do you think is the reasoning behind that?
Well, I think it's a price point thing. So I
Okay.
remember back in 2018 when we had a training with Universal, and they were getting ready to work on the endless summer resorts. And they made the statement that they were fully prepared to take a loss on those hotels for 7 years to get people used to being able to stay on site and just to kind of get it out there that hey, it doesn't have to be super super expensive. And every trip that people go on, it has a goal. And sometimes it's we just want a place to lay our heads and we want to be in the parks all the time. Some people want to spend more time and enjoy the resorts. So I think it's just a matter of keeping that variety out there. And with Helios being, the third new hotel on the other end of the spectrum, these two are just for different travelers, different trips. Maybe the same traveler, but different trips.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think you're right. The dockside and surfside hotels have been so crucial to having people stay on site for such an affordable rate. Now, the Stella Nova, when they first opened Stella Nova and Terra Luna, they're going to be in that price point of around. I was looking it up around like Cabana Bay and Aventura. So it's a little bit more pricey than the dockside, and but these are also brand new hotels as well.
And
And
they're
you have
also right there by the
yeah,
park.
and they have the access to Epic Universe. So they're both of these hotels are going to have a walkway to Epic Universe, or you could take the bus,
Yep.
and that's going to be interesting too. Like I always praise Universal's bus system. It's super basic right now. It's going to get a little bit more complicated once Epic Universe opens, but I thought the bus system was amazing at Universal when I stayed. Um, and this is going to be very similar to that, I would imagine. And now they just have to put a new bus route in. That's it. So it's really not that big a deal. But yeah, just walking over to Epic is going to be a nice little kind of like Aventura and Cabana Bay with Volcano Bay, right? They
Yep.
they have that little access, so I could see where the connection is in terms of like price point and that. Um, they're going to have nice pools, zero entry pools at these hotels. Grab
Do you
like a
know if both of them are 0 entry? Because actually that's a note I made because I was looking at some
That is a good point.
footage,
Um, so I know
just earlier this morning, and both of the pools are full with clean water now. They just they filled them. It wasn't like rainwater and runoff and stuff.
yeah,
And it when I was looking over it, I made a note to go back and check because it didn't look like Stella Nova had a,
okay, so
a 0 entry point, and that's
Terra
something I
Nova
want to check. But you can see that Terra Luna does. You can see that 0 entry, but I didn't see it on the other one, so that is definitely something we need to
yeah,
pay
you're right
attention
about that
to.
'cause Terra Luna does they make note of it, that it's 0 entry.
Yep.
Um, and then where you have on Stella Nova, it doesn't. So it says that it's a resort style pool with
Yeah.
interactive water features, large spa, blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, you're right. Like, I don't think it doesn't seem as though that one's gonna have the Stella Nova is gonna have the 0 entry. You're right.
See, that makes a difference to my guests because if they're
Yeah.
traveling with smaller kids,
Yep.
mom, dad, you gotta be right there at the edge of the pool. Where if
Yeah,
it's 0 entry, the kids can kinda play in and out of that
right there, yep.
area.
Oh,
So
that's a good point. That is a good point. I didn't realize that because it just seemed like they were both such close relatives of each
and
other,
I
you
don't
know?
know for sure, but
So
that's what it looked like
yeah,
in the
you're
the
right.
drone footage that I saw.
Yeah, and when you're looking at it, yeah, you're right, it does look like that. So, yeah, so that
So
is a
stay
big point
tuned. We'll
for
report back.
yeah, when we go tour the place, we'll take a
Yeah.
look. Um, so and then each hotel is gonna have like a quick service restaurant. I'm sure the food's gonna be good. Like they do very good quick service at the hotels at Universal. Um, the bus transportation, lobby bars, right? Lobby bars look actually really nice.
Mhm.
Um, and then the lobbies themselves look really amazing as well. Like the concept art looks really nice. We'll see how it comes out when it's all said and done. But it's kind of really big, open, curving, architecture. It looks really nice.
Kinda reminds me of, like, Aventura when we first got the concept art for that.
Yeah, a little bit more modern looking. Um, but yeah, you're right. It is. They have like little lounge spaces and stuff like that. Like that looks pretty nice.
Are you familiar with the Kirkman Road extension that's coming
No,
in that's gonna
what is that?
connect? Yeah, okay, so Kirkman Road runs between, it's one of the ways you're gonna be able to get to Epic Universe and to also the North Campus with the other parks, and there's a traffic circle that they've been building. Well, so it's a cooperation between, of course, Epic and I don't know if it's a city or if it's I think it's a city project, City of Orlando. It's not going to be complete in time for Stella Nova to open, so that'll be interesting because I know that that was one of the kind of sticking points as to the opening date of Epic, the official opening date, like for the
Oh,
general public, because that has to be open before they can accept guests to the park. But for the hotels, they'll just be able to take the, I think it's called Destination Parkway because that connects with Epic Boulevard. But that traffic circle, that's really gonna be helpful because that's how all the guests that are coming from the other hotels and the other parks are to Epic on the buses and stuff, that's where they'll go, and it should make it a really nice flow, because you won't necessarily just it's not gonna be like just being stuck in Orlando traffic. It's specific for
oh,
the resort. So
okay.
that should be really
So
nice.
obviously, it's a partnership between them and the city
Mhm.
to build this new like kind of lane to get in and out of of the hotels and Epic Universe.
Yeah, and the traffic circle part of it is kind of right in front of both of the, Stella Nova and Terra Luna in that
Okay.
area. So, it'll be quicker once it opens, but, if anybody's going in January to Stella Nova, it'll take a little bit longer to go around,
Yeah.
but it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then obviously there's not going to be too many people going over that way because Epic Universe isn't going to be open yet
Yeah.
either. Epic Universe is going to be it's going to be pretty massive. Like it's going to be. Now, are they building a parking garage there, or
I
or is it a
don't
parking
think
lot?
so. I think they're gonna I don't think so. Now there you can see the parking areas, and you can also see, where they have so, like, the rideshare area, it's really neat. They have these lanes that are just for that. So, like, at the existing, the resort now when you go, it's they do a really good job with it signage-wise and where they pick up and drop off and everything, but it kinda comes in the same area where all the other drop-offs are from the buses and everything. But at Epic, they're going to have their own areas. They're gonna be 3 separate kinda, like U-shaped lanes where people can go and wait under the canopies for that. But I don't think that there's a garage coming in that I've seen. I think that they're going to try to filter everybody through the main, point,
Oh, gotcha, gotcha.
but
Okay.
I could be completely wrong.
No, but no, that makes sense. It does make sense. Um, all right. So, so s- out of these two hotels, what like would you choose one over the other, or like well, obviously with the pool, but is there really in? Do you think there's that much of a difference between the two?
I don't. I think it's gonna be 2 sides of the same coin because they're both, like, what, 500 rooms. They're the layout
Yeah.
I mean, I think they're just maybe theming wise if you like a color palette a little better. Um, I thought at first maybe it would be like with Dockside and Surfside. I love Dockside. I do not like Surfside,
Okay.
and those are sister
Why is that?
hotels. Because, Surfside feels very small and tight and closed in to me,
Okay,
even
it
when
is
you
small.
go and check in, and it's so silly, and it's just it's this is a me thing, but when you go in have you been in Surfside?
No, I haven't. No.
So there's this big wooden these big pieces of it's beautiful, but it's supposed to kind of resemble like a wave crashing. Well, it kinda comes over you as you're waiting to check in. I don't like that feeling. It feels like it's I don't yeah, I don't like it. I don't think that the, food court. It's not as big, so it doesn't have as big of a food court either, and it's kind of, it bottlenecks a lot. So, is it fine? It's absolutely fine. I would avoid staying there during busy times if
Okay.
if I were booking people, but I think Dockside has just a better overall feel and a lot more open space.
All right. Oh, that's
So
good.
sister resorts, they can differ, but I don't think
Yeah, but
that
this one doesn't look
Stella
that
Nova
long.
and Terra Luna are gonna differ
Yeah.
that much.
Yeah. So, um, and then obviously, like when okay, so they're opening like kind of staggered, and then obviously there's gonna be bus transportation to the other parks from there. How long do you think that ride's gonna be?
They're estimating 12 to 15 minutes.
Okay, that's not too bad.
Yep,
That's not
not bad.
bad at all. All right. And then obviously they'll drop you off at City Walk like usual, right? And then you go through security, and then you're in. All right.
Yep.
Nice. All right. Well, that's gonna do it for this week's episode. I want to thank Holly for coming on again. Holly, where can they find you on social?
You can find me on Instagram and YouTube at unlocking_universal or email me at holly, HOLLI, at themagicforless.com.
All right, so follow Holly at Unlocking Universal on social media. Like and follow and subscribe to Universally Epic Podcast on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Also, listen to the show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. Also, join the Universally Epic Tips and Tricks Facebook group. Join the community over there. This episode has been brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. If you have any Universal Orlando trip planning questions or are looking to book your next trip, email me at jim.klein@themagicforless.com. And like always, have an epic week, everybody. Get back. I should keep recording all our breaks because I think a lot of great stuff comes out of them. It's
You'd
so
be like,
funny.
I'm not recording.
Yeah, I know. It's so weird, like, when I'm like, it's still recording, like, no matter what, but, like, whenever I feel like I'm not, like, gonna use it, like, I talk a lot easier, and I don't know, it's so stupid. It's such a
Oh, that
yeah,
crepe though. That
oh,
it's
I'm telling you, I like, I don't understand how that's not getting, like, major hype everywhere because it was one of the best things I ate there.
yeah,
And you know what else I ate? It was I had a now, okay, so I had a turkey leg, right? And
the iconic
I know
crepe.
turkey legs are, like, hit or miss for people, but man, was it freaking delicious. It was so good, and I don't I'm sure they're all the same all over the park. I got it, like, right outside of Men in Black over there. Man, I was in heaven. I couldn't believe how good it was.
That's good
So,
protein too, and that'll keep you going.
yeah, I know, we were like, "Yeah, let's try it." Like, it was tasty.
Yeah.
Those turkey legs taste more like ham, though, because they're so heavily smoked,
Mhm.
and it's like they're, like, brined in smoke, so it's, like, very, ham-like, but, it's tasty. But, yeah, those crepes, oh my god. Like, there's a few things that, like, you try and you're like, "Wow, like, why isn't this getting as much, like, coverage," you know? But, like you said, I guess, it's better not to because if you overwhelm that crepe stand, it's gonna be, like, an hour wait for a crepe. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Have you eaten in a lot of the hotels?
No, like, we stayed at Aventura, and the food court at Aventura was probably
It
better than anything
it's
I
the
had.
best one, yeah.
It was so good. I had a
Yeah.
noodle bowl one day, I had a buffalo chicken sandwich another day, we had the pizza. It was so good.
Yeah.
It was really, really good. So, it was that surprised me more than anything because, like, those type of places, I'm like, I'll just eat something in the park or" because the hotel stuff is usually just, like, quick. I guess I'm used to Disney
Yeah.
more that, like, is not nothing, like, special, you know? But
Well,
no,
I
that was really
I kid you not. So when my oldest son, who lives in Atlanta still, when they come down, well, that's Taylor's boyfriend, by the way. Um,
good. Who's Taylor's boyfriend?
my son, my oldest son.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So we're
Oh, I
kinda
didn't know that.
related,
Oh,
uh,
this whole time and you guys don't tell me this? Like, what are you talking about? What the heck is going on here? Leave me in the dark over here.
well, they when they come down, they love Cabana Bay. Now, Cabana Bay's fine.
Oh,
I'm over it. I've just been there too much. But whenever they come, we'll go there. And there's 2 things on the menu. My kids, well, the kids will eat pretty much anything. Mashed potatoes. My daughter's like, "I need to go to Cabana Bay for the mashed potatoes." And they are not the same mashed potatoes that they have, like, at the other resorts because she got them once. over at Dockside, and they had, like, the red skin potatoes, and so she's like, "I'm not eating this." She wants mashed potatoes with gravy at Cabana Bay, and I get an kid you not, I can't believe I did it because the first time I thought, "Oh, this is gonna be bad, I'm gonna get sick," an ahi tuna bowl at the Bayliner Diner, and I have gotten it multiple times, it's always good. I mean, it's not, great, but it's it's
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
good
But
for
it's
what it
good, yeah.
is.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's strange.
Oh, that's so funny. I'm gonna have to talk to Taylor here. She kept me in the dark. I did 2 episodes with her already. She
You'll be like, "I know your secret, Taylor."
Yeah, come on, Taylor. Oh, that's so funny.